Hello and welcome. It is I, Iron Raiden, back yet again with another new topic of discussion. Vince McMahon is returning to WWE. Now, honestly, this should not be a shock to anybody. Most people really did think that, oh, Vince McMahon is finally gone due to, of course, about 6 months ago, the allegations that came out about him and this and that. And people just thought that was going to be the end. Oh, he's going to step down. He's going to leave creative control in the hands of his stepson, Paul Levesque, aka Triple H. And he left Nick Khan and his daughter, Stephanie McMahon, as co CEOs of the company. And everyone thought that was all well and good. Oh, it's the Triple H era now. He's finally going to right the wrongs of Vince McMahon, bring everybody back, do this and that. And at first it seemed like, yeah, it's the Triple H era. He brought back some of his people from NXT and whatnot. Now, truth be told, I do not watch the WWE product that consistently anymore. I, of course, pay attention to bookings. I go back and watch some things here and there. The best thing they probably have going for them is the Roman Reigns stuff on SmackDown, but Raw as a whole is still very much a dumpster fire. A lot of people still want to think that Triple H, for some reason, is any better of a booker than what Vince McMahon was, but if you pay attention, it clearly, nothing really changed that much because Vince McMahon never left. That's what people need to realize, is that he was still majority shareholder. He still has voting power, which, of course, if you read the letter that was put out recently, he could have come back at any time that he so chose. And even if they voted to not have him back in, he could just fire a board member. He could do whatever he wanted to do. He had all the chess pieces in place for himself to do this. Absolutely so. And yet people want to act like that this was the end. But Vince McMahon, if you know anything about him, at least business wise, that this guy does not give up that easily. And of course now he is returning to WWE, in the hopes to try to help gear up for sales and stuff, and then make some more business deal, for some new TV deals and stuff like that. Try to maximize on some stuff before they eventually wind up selling it within a couple of years or whatever. Which that was always the case. That is one of the reasons why. You can explain morally all you want to this and that, but that's part of the reason why they started laying off, or can't really say lay off because they're independent contractors, they're not technically employees. That's why they started releasing so much talent. Is because they've been trying to trim the fat of the company for a while now. That's what him and Nick Khan have been doing. They've been setting everything up to try to gear up for a sale sometime in the future. They said a while back that basically we're not actively looking to sell, but we're taking calls and stuff like that. That's always been the case. And of course now people want to act like it's such a surprise that he's coming back and doing this. It shouldn't be at all. This has always been the case. Nothing has changed about that whatsoever. Vince McMahon always had the power to come back and do as he saw fit. This was never the end of him by any stretch of the imagination. And now, as far as who could potentially buy, who could potentially, who could they sell it to in the near future? Well, I would say that the likely one, due to what some have said before, is that Comcast could easily be the one to do so, because of course they have the deal with the Peacock network. That's where they air their pay-per-views on. That's run by NBC Universal, which is owned by Comcast. Comcast is a big company. They could easily be the likely ones. Now, what you probably don't want as another, is probably like the second or third option, is Disney, which Disney couldn't acquire WWE right now if they wanted to, because they still have that Fox deal that they need to deal with. So they couldn't really afford to do that at this point in time. But in the near future, they very well could do that. And of course, ties with The Rock and such, and Rock having bought from the NFL, there could be something there between him and Nick Khan and Disney that could, you never know, all right? But that is a possibility. Okay, don't get it twisted that it's not. But Comcast, probably. But either way, again, it changes the fact that nothing really ever changed with, if you really look at the booking of what Raw has been doing as of late, people want to act like that Triple H was a godsend to them. But what has really changed, though? What has changed booking wise? As far as I'm concerned, when I look at people reviewing the product right now, they're still having a lot of the same complaints. It's like, oh, well, WWE is like, oh, I'm not so sure about this, like the Austin Theory thing, the cash in and stuff. I mean, you realize if this was Vince, that this would be no different in your eyes whatsoever. But because it's Triple H, that people wanted to act like, oh, it's different now. No, it's not. Okay, he's probably had him in his ear the whole time, be like saying, like, he could bring back some of his guys here and there. He could make like little changes and stuff. But for the most part, what has really changed in the product? No, it's still Vince's product. So he's even said he still talks to Vince about this stuff, and he's still his son-in-law. Okay, we need to remember too is that Triple H, Paul Levesque, okay, he climbed the ladder for years, okay, to the point to where he married his daughter, he married into the company, he did this and that. I mean, he climbed that ladder, he played the politics perfectly. So you mean to tell me you're gonna act like that he's really that much different than Vince? Not really. But Vince still always has and always will have the power up until they decide to sell this. So nothing has really changed whatsoever. This was always going to be the case. People needed to realize that. But again, people want to act like this is such a shocker. It's not. This has been the doing for some time now. Releasing talent despite record profits, that meant nothing whatsoever. You can argue morally, stuff this and that. I get it, absolutely so. They've done a lot of shady crap. And people can talk about the Saudi Arabia, the crown jewel, this and that, whatever. But Vince McMahon, he's no fool, okay? The dude is a business genius. This is what he does. You can never count this dude out as far as his business sense and what he looks to do. I mean, you just look at how the stuff with the XFL went down after they shut down for a second time. Like, he didn't give up on that. He tried to bring that back. And like I said, of course, now it's owned by The Rock and them, and so they're going to try to bring that back again. Just look at his business partners that were involved with that. And there's so many different factors that go into this. But Vince McMahon was never really gone. He was always there. People want to act like it was changed. It was not. But this has been the case. And so next question is like, okay, well, do I expect the product to change immediately? Like, is he just going to show up on TV and this and that? Probably not until, I don't know, Rumble, maybe Wrestle. Who knows if he'll make, on TV appearances. But he's going to be there, trying to gear up for the deals and for the sales and stuff, because they want to deal with Vince. That's basically what it comes down to. So yes, that'll do it for this video. Nothing's changed. It should not be a shock whatsoever. Vince McMahon was never going to give up that easily. I am Iron Raiden, and I am out.